All right. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the drummer for Rock of Ages on Fremont Street. And I've been playing drums professionally for 32 years. And so today I'm going to share some of the basics of solid rock drumming. I want to emphasize the word solid. Your groove in your pocket are everything. Chops, that's the icing on the cake. It's all about making the band sound really solid in rock as well as all the other genres of music. You know, it's the same thing. So anyway, today we're going to focus on 5 very common beats used in rock, which when studied and played effectively can be used really well in pop and rock music. They cross over all the time, these grooves. Country too, same thing. Now these patterns can be played with an 8th note ride pattern on the hi-hat or the ride, or they can be played with a quarter note ride pattern. Okay? Now oftentimes in rock, I go to the quarter note ride pattern because it allows for a really slamming 2 and 4 on the snare. And the guys on the rock gigs, they want to hear that 2 and 4 really prominent, okay? Now a lot of records, when you learn a song off a record, okay, if you learn it identical to the record, it may or may not make the band sound great live. And oftentimes, I'm doing gigs where the players haven't played together before. Maybe we all know each other, but we have not rehearsed. Most of the time, there's very little rehearsal in the gigs that I do. So, that 2 and 4 is really important, and the time is really important. Okay, having said that, the first groove we're going to explore here, just for a New York minute, is what I call the Ringo beat. Now, I came upon this beat, first time I heard of it was with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, all right? And this is a very common beat that is used in a lot of songs. Okay, now, one thing I'd like to say is that when I have beats and fills, I attach words to them or titles that will trigger memory with me. Okay, like for example, the Ringo beat, I can write Ringo in front of a song, and then I know it's that beat. That's an effective tool when you have to learn the songs fast. And as a hired gun, most of the gigs, you gotta learn them fast. All right, so anyway, Sgt. Pepper's goes like this. We're Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. We hope you will enjoy the show. All right, so everybody's familiar with that. We don't have guitar today, we have keys and bass, so hopefully you guys will be comfortable with the arrangements that we do. They're going to be just short arrangements of each song, so you kind of get the gist of the groove. Okay, so this first tune that we're going to play, we're going to play a little bit of it, is one of my favorites. You wouldn't think it would have Sgt. Pepper's in it. It's called Jump by Van Halen, okay? So let's begin with just a little bit of the keyboard intro, and then we'll get into 8 measures of the groove, and then I'll get you guys out, all right? So here we go. Great job, guys, by the way. And, all right, so the second groove that we're going to explore here for a quick moment is what I call the Reverse Ringo beat. And I can't see you. All right. That's kind of weird. All right, let's get it. Okay. I can't see my chart. Yeah, there we go. This was better before. All right, so we're going to explore the Reverse Ringo beat. All right, so the Ringo beat, Sgt. Pepper's was... hence the Reverse Ringo beat. Pretty simple. Okay. The Reverse Ringo beat is used in a lot of songs. One of them is called What I Like About You by a great band called the Romantics, which are from Detroit. And they originated in the early 70s, and then they got the record deal in like 77. And this was their biggest hit, which came out in, I believe, about 79-ish. And this is an interesting song for us to do right now because the drummer sings the hit on the record. He sang it live until maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, and now they have a different drummer. He's kind of semi-retired. This brings up a point I'd like to make also, which is if you sing as a drummer, it adds to your cachet and your hireability regarding pop music and gigs. So this drummer sang this song, I sing this song live, all right? And I do it in C, guys, which is, you know, lower than the original. But anyway, when a group hires you, lots of times it helps to carry the load if you can sing a couple of songs. I do backups too, but they need a couple of songs sang, give the lead singer a break or whoever, if the 3 or 4 guys up front are singing lead all night. They like it when a drummer sings too. So, okay, so we'll get into this song, guys, real quick. We're just going to do a short version again. I'll give us a 4 count, and we're into the groove. We'll do 8 measures, we'll do a bit of a verse, and then I'll get us out, okay? So we'll start with the hey. 1, 2, 3, hey! Hey! What I like about you, you hold me tight. Tell me I'm the only one, oh I got over tonight. Yeah! So which one is in my ear? Tell me all the things that I want to hear, 'cause that's true. That's what I like about you. That'd be it. All right. Moving right along here, the next track we're going to do is Born to Be Wild, a real big famous biker song. And I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So we'll get into that for a New York minute too. 4 count intro, guys, then we'll do 8, then we'll do a bridge for 4, then we'll do those triplets. Yeah, I'm not singing it, so it doesn't matter. You want to go high, you want to go low, I'm okay with it. And we'll do those triplet hits, you know, the ones before the break in the middle, we'll do those for our end. Right now I'd like to take a moment to talk about learning songs fast, quickly, and charting songs. Now this is very interesting. Joel brought this up to me on the phone, and I thought, all right, this is cool. When I was talking to Derek about this and I sent him this outline, he said, well, do you have the charts of your arrangements? And I said, no, sorry, I don't. He said, no problem, I'll chart them out. Top Pro, no worries. Okay, so I mentioned that to Joel, you know, and Top Pro here too, no worries. And Joel said, you know, Dolly, that would be a really good thing to maybe touch on at the clinic, because I know that you have your own way of charting things as a drummer. And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So, myself, a lot of drummers are totally schooled and they can do musical charts for the instruments. I'm not. However, I can write drum notation. Now the point I'm making here is to learn songs really rapidly. The only way that you can really own them on the bandstand, and when I go to a gig, I gotta own it. That's it, my rep is on the line. And I gotta go in and nail it. Tempos, beginnings, fills, okay? Now lots of times we learn songs, we don't do them exactly like the record. The fills we do, but sometimes things are a little different, but you want to cop the spirit of the song when it was recorded, okay? Now, sometimes I do things a little differently because I want the song to be really solid, all right? For the guys on the bandstand, so they know where all the breaks are, they have no doubt, they can look on their peripheral vision and see me coming down and know we're going into another section or ending, right? However, I want to cop the spirit of the song, okay? Like for example, Born to Be Wild, I mean, he doesn't play it, you know, tight. Am I loud, by the way? You guys want me to come down a little bit on my volume? All right. You know, he doesn't play it tight like that, but I do. And then sometimes I loosen it up a little halfway through a section, you know, with a high end, give it some color, all right? But I want these guys, that bass player's playing off my hats, and he's sometimes 30 feet away, and he's got that stuff in a monitor, and he's got to know exactly where the groove is, okay? So I tighten the thing up, it tightens the band up. Anyway, and you were speaking about cymbals, and lots of times I do choruses with a quarter note and a 2 and 4 drop without hitting crashes in choruses, even though they may be on the record in the chorus, because I don't want to whitewash out this band. And also, when I'm locking pockets deep and heavy, it makes the band sound huge on a big stage. So anyway, getting back to charting songs and doing them fast. I, along with a lot of really famous guys, one is Josh Freese, who does this. We all have our own way of writing hieroglyphics so that we understand them. But Josh is one of the #1 session guys in Los Angeles, California. He's played with everybody from Sting to the Vandals, which is punk rock. He does Devo. Right now, who's he out with? I can't remember. What is it? Whatever. Anyway, Josh is a badass. And so when he goes into a session, he writes out, like, say, fill going into verse, or bridge, 4 measures, things like that. Now see, what I do is I do the same thing when I'm going to learn a song. And like for example, this last week I got a call on Tuesday to do Friday with Rebel Soul at NASCAR in the middle at night for a Cobalt party. And he sends me a list, and I got to learn some new songs. And I got to own them, because when you're out there, you got a lot of lights, a lot of weird stuff going on. You don't know if your sound is going to be good or not. You really don't know on these quick change big gigs. And you better know that song, you better own it. So, case in point, just this week, I chart out the song first with kind of a longer version. I do the click track setting, so I know what the time code is on the song. Then I'll play through the song with the CD, or the tape, or whatever that you have. And then I'm kind of owning it. And then I'll do it again the next day or the next day. If I have 24 hours, I'll do it again with, say, 20 songs. I'll take a 2-hour break and do it again. And by that time, my chart's getting smaller. I start crossing things off, because I'm remembering. And then it gets small, like, I won't pass this around because I need it tonight, but here I've got like, say on jump, I've got 4, which means 4 count. Then I've got intro. Then I got 8, which is 8 measures. I know what the groove is on these songs, so I have to write it down. And then I got a crash sign, which means end, and I put end. So I wanted to address that with y'all because, as a drummer, you can write down a chart for a song that makes sense to you, and as you continue to do that, you will develop your own language for the short versions. Josh Freese calls it the dumb drummer chart, right? And it's basically something that you can recognize and know what's going on. And as you develop this code, this language, you can write the charts small, and you can write them on set lists. Now see, in rock and roll, music stands are taboo. They're lame. You go on a rock gig, you bring this, they ain't gonna hire you again, and that's lame, and that's not accepted. So you have to hire, hire, wanna hire me? You have to hide it. So I put things on a set list, like on the kick drum, or on the floor next to me. And then I've got my little chart, and I can, here, on a big double bass kit, maybe I'll have 3 tones up top, and I'll actually cut my charts in circles, and I'll put them on a tone. And then I'll use the other 2 tones. Then I'm sitting there looking at the audience, and they don't know I'm looking right down and reading the song. Sometimes I read the song all the way down, It depends on how much I've got to learn and how much time I have to own it. But by reading it, I can own it. Like, you know, I'm looking at the chart and I know that fill that gives me troubles coming up, whatever it is. And I'm going to remember what that fill is. I can even run the fill while I'm doing a verse or a bridge in my head, and then when I come in and do the fill, I'm nailing it in the right tempo and doing it correctly. Okay? So enough of that. So now the next group we're going to do here is what I call the 2 on the floor beat. Now this is really cool, used in a lot of songs. Just the kick on 1 and 3 and the snare on 2 and 4. Pretty simple. One of my favorite pop songs that actually is really rockin' is Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Okay? That is a slamming groove. So we're going to do this right now. Guys, we'll just do, what are we doing? We're doing the intro 8, which you'll all recognize. And then we'll do a bridge and a chorus and we'll get out. You ready? Excellent job, guys. Thank you. Are you guys amazing or what? All right, and so now we'll move on to the 4 on the floor beat. Same as the 2 on the floor, but with the kick on all 4s of the quarter notes. Now this first musical arrangement we're going to do is one of my all-time favorites, with one of my all-time favorite guitar players. Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, all right? So Crazy Train was Ozzy's first single off of his first solo record after he left Black Sabbath. This song came out, this record came out in 1981, and the song was co-written by Ozzy and Randy Rhoads, one of the greatest guitar players in the history of modern metal and rock. Okay, and Randy Rhoads had a lot of style, a lot of, similar to Hendrix, a lot of color and landscapes in his music. So, at any rate, the original album track was played by Randy Castillo, one of my all-time favorites. And Randy had, the track on this record has a lot of swing to it. Now, a lot of the rock drummers in the 70s, who came up in the 60s and 70s, and were doing things in the 80s too, but Randy, you know, came up in the 60s and 70s. They were very influenced by jazz, and their teachers taught them rudiments and grooves that were swinging. And even if they didn't take lessons, they were influenced by the music of the day, which was very swinging. Case in point, Mitch Mitchell, Jimi Hendrix, one of the most swinging jazz fusion monsters on the planet. Okay, playing with this Hendrix guy. And their synergy with that group just made for some amazing arrangements, things that just blew you away, okay? So Randy has a lot of swing to his playing. Now, I came up in the 80s, and in the 80s, the stuff that I was doing and influenced by was very click track oriented. A lot of the music, the arrangements were very straight ahead, okay? So hence, that's my style. My style is a little more straight ahead. So I play this track like Tommy Clufetos, a fellow Greek, who's been with Ozzy for about 8 years now. Now Tommy plays extremely slamming and basic with Ozzy, and it works. And so that's the way I do it. And the groups that I play this song with seem to like it, haven't had any complaints. So right now, let's get into this, guys. We'll do Crazy Train. We'll do the intro tom thing, but let's see, we're going to do. We'll do it for 8 measures. Yeah, we'll do that intro for 8, and I'll get you into the sections. You'll see the fills. So let's get into this intro. We'll do those tom hits, then we'll do a verse, a bridge, a chorus, a verse, and we're out. That'll give it a little bit of continuity. Okay. Okay, and we have a couple of more here. This next arrangement we're going to do is a short version of Journey. Everybody like Journey? No, maybe, yes? All right, we got one! Okay, anyway. Yeah, phenomenal rock band, and okay. Let's see. Okay, well, we'll finish up with Journey. And this particular track has, it's interesting, there's a bell hit on these verses and choruses that is on the end of 3, and then a tom that comes down on 4. Now notice when I do this track, the kick is on all 4 beats of the measure, and it's rock solid, okay? Okay, so we'll start with the keyboard part. And, so yeah, great. Okay. We're out of time, so thank you very much, guys and gals. We really appreciate you coming out, and thanks, Joel, for having me. And thank you.